Hello YouTube. This video is about air filtration. Before I start, I have no association with the manufacturer of the unit that we're putting up. I paid list price for it. I received no compensation. I just bought it because I thought it was the best deal. In order to buy an air filtration unit for your shop, you need to know a couple of things. You need to know what size of the unit to purchase. Vendors rate their units by cubic feet per minute. So we have to calculate how many cubic feet per minute we want to move in the shop. How do we do that? Well, first we have to determine how many times we want to turn over the air in the shop in an hour. And they recommend 6 to 8. We're going to go with 6 just because the unit would just get so large that I wouldn't want to hang it from my ceiling. So we're going to turn over the air 6 times in an hour. The length of the shop is 58, the width of the shop is 20, and the height of the shop is 10. So that equals 69,600 cubic feet per hour. But they're rating everything in minutes. So we take that 69,600 and we divide it by 60, which is 60 minutes in an hour. We end up with 1,160 feet per cubic feet per minute that we need. This is my Google marketing search. I came up with a vendor, a model, noise level. They all had 3 speeds, low, medium, high, and a cost. The Grizzly had a noise level of 69 decibels, had a top speed of 1,044, and they came in at $450. The WEN had a slightly less noise level at 68 decibels, top speed of 1,270 cubic feet per minute, and came in at $300. The Jet didn't list the noise level. Their top speed was 1,044 for $400. So it seemed to me that the WEN, with a top speed of 1,270, which is more than what I needed, I need 1,160, for $300 was a good deal, so that's what we purchased. This is what we got. Let's open it up. Nicely packed, a remote and some batteries and instructions. We have to pay attention to this alert, and what's telling us is that the styrofoam blocks installed for shipping must be removed before operating. And the instructions tell us how to do that. The instructions say to remove the filters, remove these screws, remove the grill, and then take the styrofoam blocks out. So out comes the grill, and out comes the styrofoam blocks. And they're really in there. Remove all the little styrofoam pieces so we don't suck it up into the fan. And put it back together. Now that the grill is back in position, we can continue. I'm not going to put the filters in until after we hang it from the ceiling. I think we're at a point where we can test fire the unit. I certainly don't want to hang up a unit that doesn't work. They make a big deal in the instruction manuals, instructions that you use a grounded extension cord. I guess they build up static electricity and you got to have it grounded. So we have a grounded extension cord. Let's turn it on and see if it works. It works. This is the top of the unit. They give you two different ways of hanging the unit. They provide these loops that screw into these nutserts. that you can put cable or chain or whatever through to hang it from the ceiling. They also provide clips that go on the edge here that you could hang it from. And they provide rubber feet to be put on the bottom of the unit if you wanted to set it on the workbench. The 2x4 stringers in this roof here are 2 feet apart. And the unit is 2 feet apart. So neither one of these are convenient hanging spots. But if this clip was on the side, we'd be perfect. We'd be in really good shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to void our warranty and drill some holes in the side and mount the clips to the side. Before we mount the clips to the side, we're going to make sure that there's nothing in back. In the back, we don't have the filters in place, and we can see up inside the cabinet and see there's absolutely nothing in those corners. So we have no problem drilling holes there. If we look in the front here, on the left side, we can see there's nothing there either. The problem is, on the right side, we got the control panel and a dead space. So we're going to take this control panel out in order to see what's up above. We've removed the control panel, and the control panel is mounted inside a box all by its own. We can't see the upper right hand corner to know whether we're going to be safe for screws, so let's take a look in the back. Looking in the back side, we can see the back side of the box that contains the control panel, and then above it is nothing, so we have no problem with screws there either. We're looking at the side of the unit here. What we want to do is mark out some holes. So we'll take a piece of tape so that we can see what we're writing and stick it on there anyway. And now what we want to do is measure in an equal distance. So let's put them in 3 inches from the edge. Take one of the brackets and hold it up against that 3-inch mark and mark the holes. Then we have to center punch those holes carefully to make sure we're in the center. Drill holes where we punched out very carefully. Put the screw onto the bracket, which is a nice tight fit, and put that in the hole, and this should be a nice tight fit too. Put another one in. And we have a nice hanging bracket that is 23 inches on center. Now I know I said our 2x4s are 24 inches on center, but they're laid on their side. The stringers are laid on their side, so I have plenty of space to get my hooks in. We have all our hanging hardware in place. Remember how this is going to work. We're going to screw the hook into the ceiling. While the hook is in the ceiling, we're going to put the bracket onto the hook. Then we're going to raise the unit to the hook, and we're going to screw it in. That way we're very close to the ceiling. I'll screw this as far into the 2x4 as I can and have the end just stick out. So we'll be in about that far. So this is going to be very close to the ceiling. We've moved it from the workbench, and it's time to move it to its new location. Let's talk about this lift for a minute. We were very fortunate to be able to borrow this from a very good friend. I don't see any other way of being able to do a unit this size. If you had a smaller unit, a couple guys could hold it up and you could bolt it to the ceiling, but with a unit this size, I see no other way of doing it. With the lift, we're able to position the unit exactly where we want it and use the brackets that are on the unit to locate the holes that are going to go in the ceiling. With the unit in position and exactly where we want it, we can mark the location of the holes for the hooks. And now we'll center punch the marks for where we're going to drill the holes. Now let's drill some pilot holes. Here we are on the last hook. First thing we have to do is drill out our pilot hole to the size of the hook. Then what we got to do is drill the metal, because the hook won't go through the metal the size of the hook. And now we thread the hook. Take this. And what I've done is I've marked the hook so that it will screw all the way into the 2x4 and the top will just come out of the 2x4. And we have our hooks. Now we got to hang the unit. Here we are putting the last 2 screws in our relocated brackets. There's screw number 1. And screw number 2. And now for the big test. We'll stay there when we lower the lift. Let's install the filters. Let's hear it run. That's on the low speed. It's a little loud, but I think it's tolerable. If you enjoyed this video, there'll be more.